Overthinking and procrastinating, I think, would no longer exist if we took the emotion, that thought process, all of that fear out of the task and we just focused on the task itself. Because when you are just focusing on that task, you can plan out the steps you want to take to accomplish that task. And you can really, take those actionable steps to make it happen. Like if you are going to put on your shoe, if you're going to go put on your shoe, you have it in your head, the task is to put my shoes on, and you go. It can obviously be a different goal than this, but just for an example, just for something simple, you're going to put on your shoe and you slip your foot in and then you fasten it, you tie it, you buckle it, whatever it is, and you're done. That is it. You've put your shoes on, you've achieved your goal. But when you are, thinking about putting on your shoes, you're not overthinking like, oh, is this going to be too tight? What if it's too tight? What if this is uncomfortable? What if I put my shoes on the wrong feet? And you're not thinking about that and then letting it deter you from even trying to put your shoes on. If your shoes are too tight, you can loosen them. You can shift them around. You can put on a different pair of socks. You can do things differently to still put your shoes on, to still reach that end goal of putting your shoes on. So I feel like sometimes we can really let our emotions and our feelings and our overthinking, our procrastinating, our overthinking can lead to our procrastinating because we just think, we're just overthinking the whole thing. We're putting too much information into, our mind information and just all of these thoughts into the task when they really don't need to be there. But before I get more into that, I'm Julia, and I'm your guide to authenticity, authentic living, all of that good stuff, ingenuity. And yeah, this is something that I've sort of talked about before, but I wanted to break it down, get more into it, because I think this was part of another video that there was just a lot more going on. But yeah, if you really, really focus on the task, because that is really all you need to do. But sometimes when we get that idea, we get that dream, we have that passion, we can, it can be really great in the moment when we think of it. And it can be so groundbreaking. We could be oh my gosh, I have the best idea and be so excited about it. And then we let those emotions, the overthinking, we let the thoughts get in the way and the what ifs, all of that kind of stuff. And we can let the anxiety and the fear block us from even taking the first step. You can start thinking all right, that's a great idea, but I need to do X, and X is going to take me a week, and, it's going to cost me, a certain amount of money to get the materials for that. Okay. And then Y is going to take me a few weeks, but what if Y doesn't work out? And I need to do X and Y in order to reach Z, but if that takes me 3 months, that is longer than I want it to take. And, what if it doesn't even work out in the first place? And, I think you get the idea. We can keep going down that rabbit hole and hold ourselves back from even taking the first step because we can just think so far ahead. Like I said, when it was the example with putting your shoes on, you're just thinking about putting on your shoes, and you are reaching each step, each problem as it arises. If your shoe is too tight, you can loosen it. You can loosen, the laces. You can shift the tongue around. You can, move things around. You can shift however you need to, but that's not going to stop you from putting your shoes on. Like how a little bit of overthinking should be, it shouldn't hold you back, and you can remove that. You can acknowledge that thought and shift your focus back to what you were doing. But yeah, like I said in the beginning, if we really took that initiative to act on the idea when we had that idea in the first place, we would feel so much more accomplished, and we would have that momentum to really propel us into the second step and then into the third step. And before you even realize it, you've achieved your goal. And that just gives you more inspiration. It gives you more, knowledge about what you can achieve. And it will just propel you into your next goal, and you can achieve bigger and greater things because you've really told yourself what you can accomplish, and you've really, you've set the standard for yourself. They're okay, I can do this. I had, it might have been difficult. I might have overthought sometimes, but I quieted those thoughts and I achieved my goal anyway. Instead of allowing those, those thoughts, those feelings, anxieties and fears to really spin out of control, because sometimes we can do that and we can, not even take the first step towards it. It could be decades and you don't even take the first step into doing what you really, really want to do, which, when we have those ideas, again, when we have that initial like boost of energy and that just great feeling when we have an idea to do something, that is because you have that idea for a reason. And I'm going to go into that in other videos this week. But yeah, you might be doing yourself a disservice by holding yourself back from not achieving that goal, because you have no idea where that ambition is going to take you, especially if it is something that you keep being called to do, but you're still allowing the fear to hold you back. So my idea is to keep that idea close to you. Remind yourself of your idea. Remind yourself of your gifts, your abilities, and the things that you really want to do and achieve with those gifts that you have. And then write the idea down. Take some quiet time to really focus and to plan out the steps that you want to take without talking yourself out of it. Because sometimes, because I make jewelry, and there will be some times where I think that a pair of earrings is going to take me so long that nobody's going to want to buy it, so I don't even make those earrings. And that is something that I'm still talking myself through, and I'm also going back to old designs and making them, because that is something that I really want to make, and that is where that's an idea that I really have, and wherever that leads me, that's something that I really want to make. Whether or not we even do, how do I want to phrase this, we can really shut ourselves down from even the potential of success, because the fear can be so great. But we have no idea where that success is going to lead, how great it's going to be, and if it's going to lead us to another thing, another person, another client. But we can really let that fear get in the way. So like I said, keep that idea with you. Remind yourself of your idea, write it down, take steps, make a plan, take those steps each day, or however frequently it is. And when those worries and those fears come in, quickly acknowledge it. Don't fight it or anything like that, because I feel like when we acknowledge our thoughts, it's we're accepting it, but we're not letting it take control of us, and we're not going to continue to stay focused on it. So you can acknowledge that thought, that what if thought that you're having, that fear, and quietly and just gently shift your focus back to what you were focusing on, back to the task at hand. Because even this morning I was getting overwhelmed with, sometimes it happens to me in the morning, but I get overwhelmed with the things I want to do throughout the day. But I was just brushing my teeth. I was just doing something, muscle memory in the morning. Again, something that I don't really think about. I'm not thinking about all of the steps involved, and I'm not getting overwhelmed by brushing my teeth. I'm just brushing my teeth. And I was just, again, getting overwhelmed with everything that I needed to do throughout the day, that I had to sit myself back and just quietly, while I was brushing my teeth, be okay, I need to focus on just brushing my teeth in this moment. I need to just focus on the task. I need to focus on what I'm doing, and not let those fears and those thoughts get in my way. Because sometimes I think before I write, and even though I do love coming on here and I love reflecting, I can get overwhelmed because I feel like my message isn't going to be received, and I feel like it's not going to be important. And I sometimes let those fears get in the way, but then I need to I just talk myself through it. Okay, that's not true. And the fears don't have to win. We can fight those fears, and, not necessarily not aggressively fight them, but we can work around them and, take them out of the way. So yeah, as long as you have a plan in place and you're taking action at each step to get to the next, there is nothing that you can't accomplish. As long as you are taking, you have your intention, you have your actionable steps, you have your idea and your passion, that is all you need. You just need to stay determined to see it through. And you can show yourself what you're capable of. Again, when you are reaching one goal, you can show yourself what is possible in order to reach the next goal. And it could be an even greater goal. Say it could be something simple well, not simple, but like something that other people would understand is just like reaching 10,000 followers. And you're like, okay, I really want to, reach 10,000 supporters, to have people, to reach a greater audience. And now I've done that. Now I want to reach 100,000. Now I want to reach 500,000. Like, when you show yourself what is possible, it makes it even more like fun and exciting to get to the next goal. So again, don't let that overthinking and procrastinating get in the way. That oh my goodness, I keep saying that. The overthinking can lead to procrastinating, can keep you holding yourself back. But like I said, gently acknowledge those thoughts. Don't let them get in the way, and focus your attention back on what you're trying to accomplish. So I hope that was helpful. It was definitely helpful for me today. It really helped me get through, it's almost 2:00 right now. It helped me get through like the past few hours of my day, and to really just sit and to think about what I was doing. Like when I was journaling and writing these things down, I was really just, taking it sentence by sentence. What are the thoughts that I want to get through, and what do I want to convey in this video? And, before I knew it, I was done with my reflecting. So yeah, just really take it task by task, even taking it minute by minute, day by day. And, sometimes that is life. Each day can be, its own type of challenge, but you don't need to let it consume you. So that was it for today. Again, like always, the blog for my Monday posts is in the description below. And I will be back on Wednesday and Friday with some similar messages, just sort of about reaching your potential and allowing, just really deciding to take that choice, to make that decision, and to, to really put that in your own hands, and to really do what you feel called to do. So more on that this week, but that is it for today. And feel called to like, subscribe, all of the things. Stick around if you would like to. And I hope I see you again. But if not, that's okay. I understand. And yeah, for those of you I will see again, bye for now.